Thank you, Burley. Oh, wow, what a joy, huh? The last speaker at the end of a long, hard day, and nothing like being set up for success, I tell you what. But I'm thrilled to talk to y'all because leadership is a passion of mine. I mean, I am just fascinated with the phenomenon. It's essentially what we're talking about, influencing other people within an organizational structure. So it's wrapped up in position, but it's not exclusive to position. But that's what I'm interested in talking about is leadership. And the truth is, we always talk about leadership as in positive terms. Leadership does this, leadership adds value, good leaders do this, good leaders do that. Leaders equals a positive connotation. But the truth is that in many of our lives, we don't always get good leadership, now do we? I mean, let's just perform a little amateur behavioral sciences research here. Let me ask you the question. How many of you have either left a job or seriously considered leaving the job because of the way you were treated by your immediate supervisor? Raise your hands. Can everybody look around? Look around, look to the left or your right. Okay, so question is, can't we do better? Can we do better than that? Now, I want you to think about, you've been thinking all morning about what happens outside of your organization. You know, what happens in government, what happens in the marketplace, what happens with acceptance of your product, what happens in terms of the future with where technology is taking us. I want you to look inside your organization for a second. Because if your organizations aren't healthy, if your organizations don't operate in an effective manner, none of this great future that we're anticipating is going to take place. So let's look inside our own houses here for just a second. And I want to ask the question, is there a relationship between leadership style, organizational climate, and organizational effectiveness? And yes, it's a blatant ripoff of a pretty good Tina Turner song, but what's style got to do with it? What does style of the leader have to do with organizational excellence? Does it matter? And the truth is, it's debatable in part because if your boss is a jerk, but you're a true professional, right? You're a true pro. You believe in what you're doing, you're well trained, you subscribe to particular professional standards, and your boss isn't treating you well, does it matter? I mean, you're still going to do your job, aren't you? So aren't you going to be effective? Aren't you going to persevere and overcome because you believe in what you're doing? Okay, so does morale matter? Some studies say it doesn't matter very much at all. Why? Because most people in your organizations endeavor to persevere. You know, they push hard and they believe in what they're doing, so they get the job done. But I'm going to make a case. I'm going to make a case that it does matter. And while you're free to agree or disagree at any time during the presentation. But I want you to notice at the bottom here is my contact information. I'd like for you to keep that because I like hearing from people that are interested in the same thing that I'm interested in. So if you run across an article or you have an anecdote or a lot of who I am today and a lot of what I talk about has come from people that I've shared a room with. So now you're all my people. So keep in touch. Write that stuff down. Let's chat. First of all, I'd like to start off with the theory of why people choose to affiliate with one organization versus another. Okay, why are you with the organization you're with? You know, why does anybody join the organization, stay, or leave? Right? I believe it's a function of 4 F's. We'll call it 4 F's. The first one, of course, is funds. Yeah, you got to put bread on the table. And the truth is that funds will attract people to the organization, but it won't necessarily keep them there. It won't necessarily spur them to the highest level of accomplishment. We know that. The second F, fun. We don't talk about fun very much. We're very serious. We're stern in our organizational lives. But the truth is, fun, there is a social wage to it. Right? Think about the job you were in that you enjoyed the most. You probably laughed a lot. Okay? There's probably a lot of humor associated with it. Fun is important. You know, I come from a law enforcement background, and cops are really serious people. I was in a room full of police chiefs a couple of weeks ago, and they're very stern people. And I said, come on, fellas, get over it. Riding around in a car, red lights and siren and sidearm and all that stuff, chasing bad guys. Come on, it's fun. You can admit it. It's okay. Fun is important. Fellowship. Fellowship. Being a part of a team where people care about you and you care about them, it's cool. It is. You like it. We all like it. And if you've ever been in that kind of a situation and then you're not, you miss it. Some of us get a taste of it when we're playing sports, usually for the first time. But if you're in a high-performing team where they care about you, you care about them, there's something to that. You'll hesitate to leave that kind of a group, and you will seek it again in the future. And then finally, the last thing is a feeling that you're part of something bigger than self, that you're making a difference in the world. I tend to believe that it's a fundamental human drive, that we all want to do something more than consume, defecate, and sleep, and eat, and die. And I mean, there's something more to life than that. We hope that there is. So a feeling that we're making a contribution is important. The problem is, okay, there we go. Only one of those is tangible. All these other things are intangible. So funds will attract talent, but it's these other things that will retain talent. That's what keeps people there, what keeps them excited and motivated. And leadership plays a part in that. And sometimes we have to give people an opportunity to have fun. Leaders can do that. Sometimes we have to remind people that what they're doing is making a difference in the world. That's definitely a leadership job right there. So all those things are important, but we have them in different percentages. Like my brother-in-law, Robert. My brother-in-law, Robert, is a chief information officer for a very large department store chain. And he makes a bucket load of money. Lots and lots of money. It's criminal, the amount of money that he makes. Lives in an apartment in New York City in Manhattan, but he's not having a lot of fun. And his BlackBerry goes off every 15 minutes to assure him that his system is operating correctly. If it ever doesn't go off, it means that his system is down and he's at risk of being fired. Any 15-minute segment of the 24-hour-a-day cycle, he can be fired because the system is inoperative, and he's responsible for keeping that system operative. Does he like the people he works for? I won't give you his last name, but I will tell you that he doesn't particularly like his boss. He doesn't particularly like the people he works with. And what's he doing? What's his contribution to the world? Selling very expensive clothing items, okay? So it's not world peace, okay? He's not doing what you're doing. But did I mention that he makes a bucket load of money? And for him, that's okay. For him, that does the trick. It wouldn't do the trick for me, quite frankly. I mean, 27 years in the Army, now a life of academia. I mean, poverty is my life. It's okay. But I have a lot of fun. I have a great amount of fun. I get to come hang out with people like you, and I get to be in the classroom with college students. It's great fun. I like the people that I work with, and I feel as though I'm making a difference in the world. So for me, that's good stuff. All right. About the fellowship thing here. Has anybody heard of this guy, Ross McGinnis? I know you have, Ron. I think you have, Jeff. Ross McGinnis is an extraordinary young man, 6 foot tall, 130 pounds. That photograph there on the right was taken about 3 days before he died in Iraq. Okay, so this is not a happy story. But how he died is important. It does tell a story. McGinnis is in an armored Humvee there on patrol in Iraq, in that right-hand photo, which is where he liked to be. The other people in the unit loved him because he was funny. He was the unit comedian. He made people laugh. And he was able to take very stressful situations, make fun of them, get people to laugh and have humor. But one day, an insurgent threw a grenade. The grenade bounced off of Ross McGinnis and fell into the vehicle that he was in. It went past, there's a ring mount there, and it went into the vehicle. At that point, McGinnis had a fateful choice to make. He could either jump out of the vehicle to almost assured safety or dive into the vehicle and chase the grenade to almost assured death. Well, he made his choice, and you probably know what it was. He went after the grenade. And he did that because there were 3 other people in that vehicle, including his squad leader. McGinnis yelled, "Grenade, it's in the truck." Went back, found the grenade by the radio mounts, and the driver of the vehicle, his sergeant, turned to his right in time to see McGinnis cover that grenade with his chest. The grenade exploded, and McGinnis was killed immediately. But the other 3 people in that vehicle are still alive today, and they owe their lives to Ross McGinnis. So let's go back. Why did he do that? Funds? Did he do it for a paycheck? A specialist in the United States Army makes, what, about $1,400 a month? I don't think that's enough to cover that. Fun? Nothing fun about what was going on in Iraq at the time. As a matter of fact, soldiers have a great sense of humor. They put up signs all over the place that say, "Embrace the suck." Don't you just love that? Embrace the suck. Yeah, it sucks, okay? So get over it. We got a job to do. Let's get on. Fellowship. Bingo, right? It's that bond, social and task cohesion. It's I care about you, you care about me. Soldiers fight and die on the battlefield because of people to their right and to their left, not because of motherhood and apple pie.